When you travel the world for a year, you see and experience so much, and we want to share our daily travels with you. Unfortunately, a hard drive failure means we have to tell the middle a little bit differently. So, welcome to Storytime with the Happy Hoppies in this edition of The Lost Episodes.
So after a long day of exploring Dubai, we made it even longer by going to the Global Village. And this, oh my goodness, is one of the most magical places, one of the coolest things that we saw on the entire trip, I'd say, probably.
Yeah.
This is the thing that we're probably the most sad about losing footage for.
Yeah, for sure. We'll show you lots of pictures from our time there and, talk through it. But like, one of the coolest things about the Global Village were the shows that they did. And I had that on my camera and do not have that footage. So we are super excited to share with you about the Global Village. It's amazing. If it's not already on your bucket list, after this video, I'm pretty sure that it will be up there.
Yeah, it's basically the Epcot of the Middle East.
Yeah.
So we had to take an Uber to get to there because it was kind of outside the city quite a ways. And I don't think there were really buses. Maybe there was a couple buses that were going.
There were buses that were going there, but it was confusing on which bus to get to, and we didn't want to waste any time because we already were getting there later than we wanted to. Earlier that day, the people that we had taken the van ride, they recommended that we get to the Global Village as soon as it opens. And in our minds, we're like, well, we see things fast. Like, we don't need to get there right when it opens. But we were already like an hour and a half past it opening. And so we just wanted to get an Uber there and not mess with buses. So then we end up taking a bus later back because then when you get out, like the buses are there and kind of like which bus to hop on. But like getting there, it was too kind of hard to figure out. And the crazy thing is, as amazing of a place that this is, the entrance fee is only like equivalent to like $4 US. We paid about $50 in transportation costs to get there, but so worth it.
Totally worth it.
Yeah.
So we got there, and even just the outside, the entrance was amazing, but then we got our tickets, you go inside, and one of the first things you see is a smaller version of the Burj Khalifa. You see a little version of Big Ben, a little Eiffel Tower, the Colosseum, all these global things. It's like so cool.
And I think one of the reasons why it was even more meaningful to us is we had been to a lot of these places, and then to like see them again, or we hadn't been to them yet, and to like kind of get like a little taste and a little preview of it. And also, because this is in Dubai, many of the buildings are of Middle Eastern countries. And so each country has a separate building, and in these buildings, there are local vendors, there are local performers, there's local foods to try. So I would recommend not even eating dinner before you go to this place. I mean, we didn't really know what to expect, but like come on an empty stomach and like try all the different amazing foods. It is just like incredible. And actually, it's only open October through April because those are the cooler months. And it's also only open in the evenings.
Yeah. So they had like Iran, Iraq, I think Saudi Arabia, they had, of course the UAE, they had Egypt, they had Morocco, they had just tons and tons of countries.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a few that we went to, but like a lot of places that we weren't otherwise planning to go to. And this way we got a little sample, a little taste of these cool places.
Yeah, they did focus on like, the Middle Eastern countries, but then they did have like a big place for India, for China, and then they had some more like Asian countries in one building. And then they had just like the Americas building. So that included South America and North America. And mostly in there was just South America things.
And then they had like all of Europe in one thing.
Yeah, all of Europe was in one thing, but they did have the Balkans as a separate one.
Right.
And then they also had like Africa, like all in one.
It was really cool just to wander through and explore. The lights were really awesome. Then they had this really nice stage where they had all those performances that Lisa was talking about on. So there was a schedule for all the different shows. So we would try to time going to a show, wander out around through some of the different country areas, and then come back for another show. So for the shows, they had like some cool acrobatic shows. drama show, this musical. I mean, this is like a Disney production type of thing. And they're flying these teams in from like all over the world to perform here. Had a dance team from India. It was something to do with Bollywood, and that was like so well done. It was like super high energy.
Oh yeah, it was. I mean, colorful outfit.
Country that we were going to be going to. So when we saw that show and just the talent, we're like, man, we are pumped now for India.
We really were. Like, after that, we're like, all right, let's go to India. I'm so excited. And what we didn't also realize was just how many vendors were going to be there, because it really is like you were going in and kind of like you're in that country then as soon as you walk in the building. And so they have all these like local things to buy. And so we saw people, you know, with shopping carts going around. Like, this is right before New Year's, and, you know, they give gifts at New Year's time. And so there were so many people like shopping, people with like attendants, like pushing 2 shopping carts, and it was like, ooh, fancy.
Loading up. We actually did end up getting some food. We were there too. We got it from either Iraq or Saudi Arabia.
Saudi Arabia, yeah.
Saudi Arabia. And it was really good. And like the guys that were running that little booth, the food booth, were awesome. They were hamming it up for the camera and, you know, asking the YouTube channel, all this stuff. I mean, they were so much fun. And again, unfortunately, we don't have that, but that would have been so fun to have a little bit of that. And
I don't think Peter took a picture of the dish either, but it was super colorful. And I don't even remember exactly what it was, but it was some kind of like a meatball, but maybe quinoa, or maybe some kind of lentils, but it wasn't meat, but it was like in the shape of a ball. And then on top of it was drizzled with like yogurt and then pomegranate seeds. It was so good.
It was different.
Yeah, it was different. And
she really liked it.
The reason that we went to that booth is because it was really crowded and there were a lot of people at that booth, and we're like, well, it must be good, whatever they're selling, and it was. If you go to Dubai, I would definitely plan on going between October and April so you can go when the Global Village is open. It was incredible. Add it to your bucket list. 100% worth it. Like I said, the entrance fee to get in is super cheap. Obviously, to get there and get back can be expensive, but it's amazing.
It's still really cheap when you compare, you know, that cost to the cost of any other theme park.
Right, yeah, and that's how they list it. They list it as a theme park, because yeah, there was then like a little like a carnival area with some rides that you could pay for. Yeah, it was amazing. to our hotel. We did get on a bus that was right there, but it was the incorrect bus, and then it dropped us off somewhere that like wasn't anywhere close to our hotel. It took us a while to get back to our hotel. I think it was after midnight when we finally got back to our hotel.
We made it.
We made it, and it was worth it. I want to go back there and just like try all the food.
Yeah, soak it up a little bit longer and enjoy the shows again.
Yeah,
for sure.
and definitely if we go back, I will make sure to get there when it opens, because we definitely did feel a little bit rushed. And I would maybe try to go one of the nights they have a stunt show. Look at the schedule online, which was then I think included with the cost, or like you could spend more money to like be on the stands, but you can also see it right from the outside too. So I know we just keep saying it was amazing, because it was, and we don't have our video to show you just exactly how amazing it was.
Next time we go, we'll make sure to back up the footage on 2 different places to make sure everything is good to go.
That will be the rule of thumb for the rest of our lives. Yep. All right, well, we'll see you in the next video as we wrap up our time in Dubai. See ya.